You see? So this is comprehensiveness, and this is why if you take a passage in Arabic and translate it into English, you would need at least 3 times the amount of words. Previously I used to say 2, but if you look at it, it's actually 3 times the amount of words you'd need. Like, just look at what's on the screen. This is a hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He said, "U'titu jawami al-kalim." I was given words of great comprehensive meaning. Okay, وَاخْتُصِرَ لِيَ الْكَلَامُ اخْتِصَارًا. And speech was really made concise for me. Really. Okay, the word really is not there in the translation, but it's really made concise for me. Okay, so he's talking about his own aptitude and his talent because he was more eloquent than everyone. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a particular impactful speech that he was able to convey his meaning better than anyone. Okay, but he's also talking about the language because the language has these things built into it. So now count the number of words, what looks like words. Okay, like we're not going precise. U'titu, that's 1. Jawami, 2. Al-kalim, 3. And then the wa is a word. Okay, it means and. And then ukhtusir would be number 5. Li, number 6. Okay, al-kalam would be 7. And ikhtisaran would be 8. 8. 1, 2. Now compare that to the English. Okay, I was given words of great comprehensive meaning. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 9. And speech was really made concise for me. Okay, you see? 8 in Arabic. Okay, over in English we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. The word really. 15. 8, 15. So it's almost double. It's almost double. And then much of that was lost in the translation. Okay, which we're going to need to teach you in the second video. Like if I spent some more time on it and tried to give you the precise exact translation of what's there in the Arabic, I would need even more than 15. You see, so that's your first exposure at comprehensiveness. So the majority of the meanings, they're not coming from the words. Where are they coming from? They're coming from the pattern and the vowels. And we saw that in the Istansaru example because only the help was coming from the particularness of the 3 consonants. The rest of the meanings, they weren't coming from the consonants. They were coming from the pattern and the vowels. And when I say pattern, I'm talking about the configuration of the vowels, and I'm also talking about the absence, okay, which we use to distinguish from the imperfect verb, and the letter at the end, the designated letter at the end, the waw, that was giving us the group of males. Okay, so we have here the letters. That was the first meaning, was the letters one, the noon, the sad, and the ra. But beyond that, they weren't coming from the letters. They were coming from the vowels. Okay, the pattern. Okay, and the sin and the ta is part of the pattern, and then the absence, which we use to distinguish from the imperfect verb. So this is what it's all about. Okay, so the help was coming from the dictionary. The rest of the meanings, the dictionary assumed that you already knew them. In other words, you can't use a dictionary unless you know this. So where are they coming from? They're coming from this particular science, which we call sarf. So meanings 2 through 7 are coming from sarf. So basically, sarf has an A and a B. Patterns and endings. Sarf is the science of classical Arabic that gives you A, patterns of vowelization, which often involves the addition of non-base letters. Okay? Yeah, so it includes these vowel configurations, and it also includes the non-base letters, and together that is what we call patterns, and it gives you the tense, the voice, and the added connotations. In our example, it was the notion of seeking, that's coming from the pattern. And then it gives you the designated endings, or the suffixes, or that letter at the end, that waw at the end, and that gives you the gender, the plurality, and the person of the one doing the verb. Okay, so now 2 of our 3 topics that we wanted to cover in this first video are now over. We've highlighted the comprehensiveness of the Arabic language at the word level, and we've given you the Istansaru example to do that, and that led to the definition of sarf. So one more time, what is sarf? Sarf is the science of classical Arabic that gives you patterns and endings. Okay, by patterns we mean the vowel configurations and the non-base letters that might be there in addition to the 3 letters, the initial ones. There might be more. There might be a 4th and a 5th. So that's part of the patterns, and together all of that gives you the tense, the voice, and the added connotations. In our example, the tense was the past, the voice was active, and the added connotation was notion of seeking, and it could be other connotations beyond that, like hyperbole. Like you have cutting versus dicing. Cutting is when you cut it once, or shredding. And shredding is when you like really cut it multiple times. So we have qata'a versus qatta'a. Qata'a means cut, and qatta'a means shredded. Okay, or qatala versus qatala. Qatala means killed, and qatala means fought. When each person is attempting to kill the other person. So that's qatala yuqatilu as opposed to qatala. Qatala means to to kill. So if you compare qatala and qatala, you'll notice that qatala involves the addition of an alif in the middle. So what is that alif? That alif is part of the pattern, and the purpose behind the extra letters is to enhance the meaning coming from the base. So not only do we have helping, but we have seeking help. You see, not only do we have cutting, but we have cutting numerous, multiple times, shredding, like that. Not only is it killing, but it's each one attempting to kill the other. That's fighting, like that. So I just gave you several examples there to help you understand what we mean by added connotations, and more on that later as we proceed with the reading text and you start seeing examples of this. Now, the designated endings in our example was the waw. So now the question is, along with the waw, how many other endings can we have? So we already know that it could be a group of females. Okay, so it could be a group of males. We can be talking about the group of males. We can be talking to the group of males. We ourselves can be the group of males, like we. Or it could be females, talking about a group of females, talking to a group of females. Or we ourselves could be a group of females speaking about ourselves. You see that? And so we have singular, we have gender, like masculine and feminine, that we need to deal with. That the subject could be masculine, the subject could be feminine. And all of that will be reflected at the end of the verb. So that letter would change. The first 85% of the verb would remain the same, and that last letter would change in order to reflect for us the gender, the plurality, and the person of the one doing the verb. So when you take the verb and combine it with that letter, then this is called conjugating. Okay, and there's a heavy emphasis on conjugating in teaching Arabic, classical Arabic. Any methodology that neglects this or does not give it the due amount of time that it demands, then that would be a deficient teaching method. Okay, why do we have so much heavy emphasis on conjugating and verb tables? So because we need to know that the one doing the verb is a male or a female. We need to know whether the one doing the verb is one, or is it more, is it a group, and whether we're talking about them, talking to them, or are we ourselves the one doing the verb. And this impacts the verb. And here's the important point you need to understand, that in English, number one, the number is small. There's not too many of them. Okay, in Arabic we have this gender, masculine versus feminine. There's no neutral, okay, which is different. In English we'd have an it. We would have a he, a she, and an it. And in Arabic it's only masculine and feminine. So basically all inanimate objects would also have to be assigned a gender, and that's taught in grammar. So right now we just want to give you the number. The number is 2, masculine and feminine. Plurality, we have a dual, which is unlike other languages, because other languages only have singular and plural for them starts on 2. 2 or more is considered plural. In Arabic we have a separate form to indicate 2, and then our plural begins at 3. So singular, dual, plural. So what that means is we have they. We have 4 theys. We have a they that refers to 2 males specifically, and then a they which is group of males, and group starts at 3. And then another they for 2 females, and another they for group of females. My point is that they'll all be different. Okay, so there's very little overlap. Okay, so in plurality we have singular, dual, plural. Take that number, multiply with the previous number, we get 6. So he, they, she, they. So 1 male, 2 males, group of males, 1 female, 2 females, group of females. And then we have person. Okay, we'll either be talking about the 6, or we'll be talking to the 6, you speaking to a male, you speaking to 2 males, you speaking to a group of males, 1 female, 2 females, group of females, or we ourselves, like one person speaking about himself, 2 males speaking about themselves, group of males speaking about themselves. So we'd multiply the number further by 3, we'd get 18. So this is a big number. It's large. Okay, it starts off 18 and then it's reduced to 14, which I'll show you in a couple of slides. But in English, the numbers total 6. What are they in English? He, she, they, you, I, we, and that's all. Okay, so basically it doesn't matter who you're speaking to, whether it's a male or a female. You're gonna say you. It doesn't matter that the one you're speaking to is one or a group. You're gonna say you. But in Arabic, they'll all be different. Okay, we'll have a different way of saying you to a male, a different way of saying you to a female, a different way of saying you to 2 males, and a group of males, 2 females, group of females, so we'll get 6 U's. Whereas English only has 1 U. You get it? And even with they, English doesn't distinguish between whether it's a group of males or group of females. In Arabic, we would have a separate they, and not only one, we'd have 4 of them.